Does fasting really help you to lose weight? I'm answering that question today. Welcome back to Hello Weight Loss with DOB Fitness. Today I am answering all of your weight loss questions with this series. Now, weight loss is really confusing. I get it. You might Google something and it says eat only carbs. You Google something else and it says don't eat any carbs. Your personal trainer says eat 5 meals a day. Your doctor says eat 1 meal a day. What are you supposed to do? It's like you have all of these questions, you're standing on a scale, it's going in the wrong direction, and you don't know what to do. I'm here to make things a little bit easier. So today at Hello Weight Loss, we're going to be answering all of your weight loss questions. Starting with question 1. Does fasting really help you to lose weight? Let's dive in.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
The answer is yes, 100%. In fact, fasting is one of my #1 recommended tools to have in your weight loss arsenal. So what fasting does differently from other types of diets is that other diets are telling you what to eat and how much of it to eat. In intermittent fasting, we're focused on when you eat. And another thing is that it's super easy to do. It's inexpensive. In fact, it costs you nothing to fast. There are no dishes, there's no prepping, there's no extra work, there's no going to the supermarket, there's no eating, there's no nothing, right? So fasting is super easy. Anybody can do it and it's affordable. Hey, remember to subscribe. Why is fasting so effective? If you want to lose weight, the best thing that you can eat is your own body fat. And that's exactly what fasting does. I actually got this analogy from Dr. Jason Fung, who is the author of The Obesity Code. So go get that book if you're really interested in weight loss. I want you to think of 2 things. You have a fridge. That's right next door. You can just open the fridge, access food easily, and you have a freezer that's all the way down in the basement that you have to go in and you have to open the thing and talk the food and etc. The fridge is where we store glucose. That's every time we eat food, it's converted to glucose and it's easily accessible for energy. It goes in the fridge, right? Whenever we overeat, that excess food, something called insulin raises and it tells the body, hey, we have too much food, let's put some in the freezer. So the body's gonna take that extra food and it's gonna put it down in the freezer, and that's where we store our excess fat. Now, if you want to lose weight, what you want your body to do is start eating food from the freezer, not the fridge. If there's no food coming as energy, the fridge is gonna get empty and the body's gonna have no choice but to access your fat stores for energy. That's what fasting does, and that's what makes it so effective. Another thing that it does is that it lowers your insulin. So especially for women who are diabetic, have type 2 diabetes, or are severely overweight and have a diet filled with refined foods, you can develop something called insulin resistance. So that means that your insulin is always high. So every time you eat something, your body's signaling, hey, there's food here, let's bring it down to storage, let's store this as fat. Right? So in order to lower that insulin, we have to not eat. We have to stop eating, right? So we have to kind of break that constantly eating window, because most of us are eating from breakfast, lunch, and straight to dinner with snacks in between. When we break that eating window, our insulin comes all the way down. And when insulin comes down, we're emptying out that fridge and we're forcing the body to go straight to the basement to access that fat as fuel. So essentially, you're getting your body to eat its own fat as fuel, and that's what you want to happen. All right, so now you know why fasting is so effective. How do you fast? Well, we actually all fast already. I think a lot of people think of fasting as this big scary thing, but every time you go to bed, you're fasting. You're going without food for an extended period of time until you wake up the next morning. So I find the easiest thing to help someone who's never fasted before to fast is telling them to skip breakfast. All you're doing is extending that nighttime fast that we already do a few hours later. So instead of having your breakfast at 8 a.m., try to have that first meal at like 1 p.m. So you're giving your body a good, nice window where it can access all your fat stores and burn that fat for fuel instead of the food that you would have given it. What if you're able to skip breakfast and lunch and then just have a dinner? Right? Think of how you can kind of just extend that period in between meals in order to extend that fasting window. All right, before you go, because I want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Here are some mistakes to avoid when fasting. Resist snacking in between. It doesn't matter if it's one almond, you're breaking the fast. Remember, every time you eat something, your insulin raises and your body's gonna get that signal, hey, there's food here. I don't longer need to eat this body fat as fuel. I can eat this food that she's just given me. So the longer you go without eating anything, we're getting our body to eat its own fat. That's oxidating that fat that we have stored onto our body, and our bodies are going to become fat adapted. That's what we want to happen. So please refrain from eating anything, no matter how small, in between those meals. If you want to have some water or some coconut water, that's fine. No juices. Just keep your fast nice and clean. So now here are two things I want you guys to not do. One, don't try to eat a really tiny low-calorie meal because you're trying to lose a lot of weight after your fast. When you're done with your fast, have a normal sized meal. Get nice and full. Have your veggies, have your whole grains, have your protein, and make sure that you're nice and full so that you can continue and use that energy until your next fast period. The next thing is, don't overdo it when you eat. Not because you fasted for 12 hours doesn't mean that you need to eat down the place when you're eating at the next window. Just make sure that you're keeping it just right at a nice, healthy eating when hungry, stop eating when you're full. Another tip for fasting is to take it slow. Do what you can manage. Don't try to do a 24-hour fast all upon a sudden. You just go fast for 24 hours. Take your time. As I suggested, skip breakfast. Then maybe skip lunch and breakfast. Then maybe even have breakfast and lunch and skip dinner. Figure out what's gonna work best for you and your lifestyle. Just take it in small doses. And I will let you know that once you start fasting, if you've never done this before, you are gonna experience some headaches. You're gonna be a little tired. You might be a little grumpy. You might not feel well immediately, but as your body adapts to fasting, you're gonna have so much more energy. You're gonna feel so pumped, so productive. Your brain is gonna start functioning better, and you will start to lose weight. But the last tip is to make sure that you're making this a lifestyle. Just fasting for one morning out of the month is not gonna help you. You want to make sure that you make this a habitual part of your daily routine. Figure out your fasting plan and just do it consistently. All right, queens, so I've answered your question. Does fasting really help with weight loss? Yes, it does. And I hope I got you interested to try a fast to help on your weight loss journey. Comment below to let me know if you found this video helpful. Have you fasted before? Do you plan on fasting? Let me know below. Now, if you want more tips on weight loss, sis, I've got 20 more just for you. There's a link in my bio that's gonna take you to my free gift that's called 20 tips for 20 pounds. I'm giving you 20 free tips to help you lose the weight for good. Click that link, get that freeness, and let me know what you think. Until next time, please like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and I'll see you guys in the next video where I'll be answering even more of your weight loss questions.